Hello, this is Erin with the Joy in Pens and Paper, and I am ready to do 3 Inks Thursday, number 31. In a 3 Inks video, I swatched 3 inks on 3 different papers and then used 3 different nib sizes to do a writing sample so we can then compare them. This week, I did a little pivot, and instead of doing 3 inks that are very similar in color, I did 3 inks that have a similar property. And so the property of similarity is chromo shading. If anyone wants to take a guess what brand, style, whatever of inks that you think I'm going to swatch, go ahead and timestamp and put that in the comments. I'd love to hear if you guess it right off the bat. The papers that I'm using today are Bank Paper, Cosmo Air Light, and Tomoe River. And I have the Kakimori Brass Nib dip pen for doing the swatches. And then for the writing sample, I have 3 TWSBI Go pens in fine, medium, and stub. I am not a stub writer, so do not expect anything beautiful, fancy, or good out of that. Okay, so without further ado, the 3 inks that I will be swatching today are in the Sailor family. And what I'm swatching is Sailor Manyo Haha, Sailor Itazora, and Sailor Kangu. All right, so I'm just going to go in that order. None of them are shimmer, and we shall see and enjoy the chromo shading properties. Now, raise your hand in the comments if you have never used a Sailor ink before, and I will tell you when you use a Sailor ink, you will learn to enjoy the experience of a chemically smelling ink. I don't know why, but Sailor inks smell very chemically. When they're inked up in a pen, you really can't smell it too much, but this is Sailor Manyo. Just going to make sure that this pen is fully rinsed because I think the last one had a little bit of a blue ink because it's not usually that saturated when writing. So I'm writing the name of the brand with a fine nib, the ink name or the color name in a medium nib, and then I will finish it up by writing, just pulling the extra water out of the nib by holding it against a cloth. Excuse me. And then I'm just going to do some lettering. Now, I made no efforts to be careful with finger oils and whatnot when setting this up, so we shall see if there's any Erin fingertips out there. All right, next up we'll do Eat to Zora. Well, ask and ye shall receive. It looks like we've got a fingerprint emerging right there. And another one right there. And we'll end it off with some lettering. I probably need to practice by doing more than writing the first, 7 letters of the alphabet, if I want to really get better with that stub nib, but c'est la vie. Now this one, I have used almost a third of this bottle. I don't recall using it, but apparently I have. And you might notice me very subtly turning the Katimori brass nib pen. That's just to make sure that I've got a little bit of evenness with pulling the ink down. Although I love when it gets the kind of broken or white space there in the middle. So I'm not trying to not get that, but oops. Capped it and put it away. What am I thinking? I love these inks. I mean, how can you not love what is on this page right now? This is fascinating. Now, all 3 of these inks are very light. They're not very saturated at all. And then, here we go. Hopefully this is better. Not really. Okay. Now I can recap this. And let's just take a moment and appreciate the fact that in each row, it is the same ink, and specifically the bank paper. The bank paper is really shifting the color of this ink in a very interesting way, and it almost flip-flops the ink. So for example, Itazora on Cosmo Airlight and Tomoe River is a little bit more predominantly purple, but you do see that seafoam green come out, especially on the Tomoe River paper. But then on the bank paper, it's the seafoam green with a little bit of like a pink, a little purple coming out, which is just fascinating. And I'm seeing the same thing with Kangoo, where it's primarily pinkish and purple on Cosmo Airlight and Tomoe River, and you get that green that's popping through, and then it's flopped. It's green on the bank paper with a little bit of the pink popping through. That is just fascinating. It's so fascinating. The Sailor Manyo, it's a slightly brighter, lighter blue on the bank paper. But it doesn't have the like flopping feature, the reverse feature that you're seeing with the Itazora and Kangoo. On Cosmo Airlight and Tomoe River, you've got these little pops of pink that come through this really lovely sky blue, or at least I call it a sky blue. It's just very fascinating. In the writing, what I really love about Kangoo and Itazora, which is likely why I got a bottle of each of these, is once you get to that medium-sized nib, you can really see all of the chromo shading in the writing. So it's such an interesting writing experience. The Itazora primarily, and I had this inked up in a Pelikan. I want to say it's called Swipe, but I think it's the TWSBI Swipe. What is that Pelikan pen called? And where is it? Oh, right here. This one. So this is a entry-level Pelikan pen. It's primarily, I think, marketed towards young students, and it has the grips to really help you line up your hand. I actually recommend, if you're new and wanting to get started into fountain pens, this would be a really great option, and you can get it relatively cheap on Amazon. And when I say relatively cheap, I do think that this is under $20. I think it might be around $15, $17. But admittedly, it has been about 2 years since I bought this, so I could be wrong on that. It has a nib that's shaped very similarly to Pelikan, to Lamy, but it is a different nib than a standard Pelikan. For example, like a Pelikan M200 or M400, etc. Mine, I did. Where is it? It's on one of the creases. I think it's this one right here. I cracked the cap, and so I just took some tape and wrapped it around, and it's worked just fine. It, I believe, came with a cartridge. Yes, it came with a cartridge that has an agitation ball in it, and I've just refilled the cartridge when I've used it. And it's a large cartridge, so when this actually lasted me a few months at the time that I had it inked up, but I also had, at that time, I was inking up lots of pens, closer to 10 or more pens a month. So it, like me saying it took me a few months to get through it, likely was due to the number of pens that I had inked up more so than anything else. But that is still a large ink capacity. But that, when I had that inked up, I had Itazora in it, and I don't know that I've really inked up another pen with Itazora, which is a poor choice by me. I need to get these inks in some pens. I'm not sure that I'm feeling this for the next month. We shall see, but it might be something that I explore in the next couple of months. So that is my 3 inks exploration for week number 31. Thank you for watching. If you made it to the end, I appreciate you. I appreciate the time that you have given to me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.